Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss a new topic, and today's topic is called ignition temperature. And along with this ignition temperature, we'll be discussing further on how fire is caught and what are the different types of combustion. All these things we'll be discussing in this video today. So let us first begin with ignition temperature. So what is ignition temperature? Let us see. The lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire is called ignition temperature. So it is the minimum temperature which is required by any substance to catch fire. Say for example, if we strike the matchstick, or say if we try to burn a piece of wood, does these two activities or these two phenomena occur at the same time? No, because both of them have different ignition temperatures. And until and unless this temperature is reached, the burning of that substance is not possible. So a combustible substance cannot catch fire or burn as long as its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. So as I said, unless and until the ignition temperature is reached, the burning of that substance won't occur or won't take place. Clear? And as a result of which, even if we keep a matchstick or say a piece of wood, it doesn't start to catch fire automatically. It will not happen because the room temperature is much lower than the ignition temperature. So as a result of which it doesn't catch fire. Clear? Now the next thing is, here is one activity that you can do to check that how ignition temperature is different in the different cases. So here what you need to do is that you need to make two paper cups as shown in the figure by folding a sheet of paper. And then you have to pour 50 ml of water in one of the cup. After pouring that, you have to light a candle. Actually, two candles you have to light it. And then you have to try to burn it. So as you can see here, in one case, a cup is filled with water, and in the other case, nothing is filled in it. It is totally empty. Then you have to check that which one catches fire easily and how long does it take to catch the fire. So you have to write down your observation. So basically what we will see here is that the cup with the water will not burn that easily, but the cup without water will burn rapidly. Instantly it will burn. So why does it happen? Do you know? So the main reason behind it is the heat that is supplied to the paper cup, which is filled with water, is transferred in heating of the water. And this is due to the conduction process. The heat that we get from the candle is being transferred through the conduction process to the water. As a result, the heat is being absorbed by the water. And as a result, the paper cup doesn't burn. Even it might become black in color, but it won't burn. But in the other case, the paper cup which is empty, its ignition temperature is low. And as a result of which, it will catch fire instantly. Clear? And so we can say that the ignition temperatures in both the cases are different. So depending upon the ignition temperature, in both the cases, one of the paper cup, it causes fire instantly, and the other paper cup, it will take some time. Clear? Now next, the substance which have very low ignition temperature and can easily catch fire with the flame are called inflammable substances. So in this case, you can say that the empty paper cup was inflammable and the paper cup with water was not that much inflammable. So we can say that it had higher ignition temperature than the cup which was empty. So some inflammable substances are petrol, alcohol, LPG, etc. So these are some of the common examples of inflammable substances. And that's why it is said that we have to store it in a dark and cold place. You might have heard this, or you might have seen this written. Store it in a cold and dark place. Why? Because its ignition temperature is low. And if somehow the ignition temperature is reached, then it can catch fire automatically. So in order not to happen this kind of situation, so we have to store it in a dark and cold place. Understood? Now next, let us move on to the next topic, that is how to control fire. Now we know every year a lot of fire incidents takes place. So how to prevent this kind of situation, or how to overcome this kind of situation. Now let us know the factors that lead to this fire. So as you can see in the figure, here is a fireman trying to extinguish the fire with the help of this water cannon, or you can say the water hose pipe. So how does he do it? We have always seen that the firemen, they try to, with the help of a fire brigade, they try to put off the fire with the help of their water cannons. So how do they do it? What they actually do, when you pour the water in the fire, the water actually cools down the combustion material. And as a result, that as the temperature comes down, so its ignition temperature also gets reduced, and as a result of which the burning process slowly and gradually it tries to minimize. Also, the water vapor that comes out when you pour the water on the fire, some water vapor will come out. So this water vapor, it will help in cutting off the supply of air, and as a result of which, although there will be a lot of smoke, but this smoke eventually helps to prevent the fire from spreading, as well as it will ultimately make the fire go off, or it will extinguish the fire. So what did we learn from this fire brigade experiment? We learned that there are some essential requirements for the production of fire. So what are these essential requirements? Fuel. First one is fuel. We need a fuel for the burning process. Now here in this case, while this whole building is burning, the whole building as a whole is the fuel. So in most of the cases, we cannot remove the fuel, but we have to find out some ways and means to cut off the fire from the fuel. So we'll see that. Next point is air, that is the supply of oxygen. So as I said already in the combustion process, that air is a very much essential factor which helps in the combustion process. So we have to cut off this supply of air. Clear? Next one is heat. As the heat increases, ignition temperature also increases. So to raise the temperature of the fuel beyond ignition temperature, we have to reduce this heat. That's why water is being poured, to reduce that heat. Clear? So these are the three factors that lead to the production of fire. So fire can be controlled by removing one or more of these requirements. If one or more of these requirements is removed, then fire is totally extinguished. Now another example, let us see. This is a fire extinguisher. So how does a fire extinguisher does its job? So here the fire extinguisher, it tries to cut off the supply of air. Now what is present inside that fire extinguisher? Carbon dioxide gas. So this carbon dioxide gas, it helps to cut off the supply of air, thereby bringing down the temperature of the fuel, and as a result of which the fire is extinguished. So if we remove these two factors, that is supply of oxygen and the heat, then obviously we can douse off the fire. We can extinguish the fire. Although in most of the cases, the fuel cannot be eliminated. So we have to eliminate either the oxygen supply or the heat. If we remove these two, the fire is in control. Clear? Now next, let us see what are the different types of combustions. So there are three different types of combustion. Number one is rapid combustion. Now the name already mentions that rapid, so it will happen instantly, automatically, quickly. So the combustion in which the substance burns rapidly and produces heat and light is known as rapid combustion. It won't take much time. Instantly it will burn. So let us see what are those substances. Say for example, the LPG gas. As soon as you turn on the gas and light the lighter, gas lighter, the stove burns instantly. Why did this happen? Because as we know, LPG gas is an inflammable substance. Its ignition temperature is very low. As soon as it comes in contact with the fire, it starts to burn quickly. Instantly it will start to burn. Clear? It doesn't take much time. Similarly, when we strike a matchstick, it instantly burns. When we strike a matchstick, it won't take much time, because the matchstick's ignition temperature is also very low. So in rapid combustion, we can say that the substance which burns rapidly, or the substance which undergoes rapid combustion, the ignition temperature is low. As a result, it burns so quickly and it produces some heat and light. Obviously, when there is a combustion, it will produce some heat and light. Clear? Next, let us move on to the next combustion, that is called spontaneous combustion. Now the combustion in which a material suddenly bursts into flames without the application of apparent cause is called spontaneous combustion. Means without doing anything, suddenly it will catch fire. How does this happen? Let us see some example. Say for example, forest fire. Now in most of the cases, the forest fire is not caused by any human activity or any other activity by any other living being. So how does this happen? So as I said in the earlier class, that due to the evolution of the methane gas, due to the decomposition of the dead decaying materials such as dead leaves and dead parts of plants and animals, when they decompose, they evolve some gas, and that gas is nothing but methane gas. So this methane gas, when it comes in contact with oxygen in the atmosphere, it will catch fire, and as a result of that fire, a forest fire may produce from there. So suddenly this whole phenomenon can occur without the application of any external factor here. So this is a spontaneous combustion. Next, say a thunder strike. Now there is no control of a thunder strike. Where it will strike, we don't know. And as soon as it strikes with a lot of heat and light as well. So as soon as, say, it strikes a tree, it may cause a fire. It may break the tree or it may cause a fire. So this is also an example of a spontaneous combustion. Now next, let us move on to the other type, or the last type of combustion, that is explosion. Now we all know what is explosion. We are well familiar with it. So the combustion in which a sudden reaction takes place with the evolution of heat, light and sound. So there is sound as well in explosion, we know, especially during Diwali season. So during Diwali, we are all familiar with the cracker thing. So cracker, it produces heat, it produces light, as well as it produces sound. And a lot of gas is also liberated during this reaction. So such kind of a reaction is called explosion. Now explosion can occur even under the application of pressure on that substance. So this is an explosion, you can see. So there is a sudden rapid reaction that occurs, and there is a sudden rapid evolution of heat, light, sound, and even gas also. So this explosion is a kind of a combustion which takes place suddenly. It is similar to what is called rapid combustion, but rapid combustion doesn't occur under the application of pressure, but here explosion may occur under the application of pressure. So this was all about the types of combustion, the ignition, as well as how we can control the fire. So I hope you'll have understood today's video. So I can go through the textbook as well. So that's it then for today. Thank you and have a nice day.